Hello, this is Mike Travers, and this is Around the Town. And my special guest today is Dave Barry, one of the co-owners of the Towne Tavern and Tap. Thank you for coming, Dave.
Thank you for having me.
We'll start off by just talking about some general things. When you first opened the restaurant,
Yes.
how long ago was that?
A week before Thanksgiving.
And your co-owner is also your wife, Tori.
She's the boss, yeah. It's my wife and I.
She couldn't make it because she had to keep business going today,
Yes.
so we're sorry about that. Let's talk about the size of the restaurant, the number of seats you have, and also the types of seating you have.
Yeah, we have multiple seating arrangements from low top tables and booths to high top tables and booths, as well as seating around the bar. Approximately a little over 240 seats internally inside. And then soon in the future of summertime, we'll hopefully have a beautiful outdoor patio.
That's amazing when we remember the old restaurant, how many seats they had and what you've done with the place at the property. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
The first time you told me that, I just couldn't believe you could seat that many people.
Yeah, it's amazing what we did with it.
In the parking lot, I mentioned to you before, it seems it's always filled. And it's probably the best advertising you can have is go by your restaurant and see how jam-packed your parking lot is with people that keep coming back.
Yeah, it's both a positive and a negative. Sometimes it's positive because obviously, yes, it is busy. We have a substantial amount of parking, but it seems like everybody comes one person to a car, so it fills up the parking lot quick. But in the end, the inside of the restaurant is still plenty of seating. So it's great because, yes, we are busy, but sometimes, people think, oh, it's too busy, I'm not going to get a table. So they drive right by, even though there's enough parking out back and enough seating inside to host them.
Reminds me of Yogi Bear when he said nobody goes there anymore, it's too crowded.
Yeah, seriously.
So it sounds like the same kind of problem. But I guess one advantage is once you get your parking spot, there'll be tables waiting for you.
Yes, absolutely.
That haven't been filled. Let's talk about your staffing because you obviously have different kinds of staff there.
Yeah.
Headed off with your chef, of course.
Yeah, so my culinary director, who's my executive chef, my culinary director, Brian. Brian and I have been working together since 2017, hand in hand in various organizations. And then when I opened my first location back just after COVID in the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, Brian and I teamed back up, and Brian's been at the helm of my kitchens, all of my kitchens in all the locations, since day one, pretty much, within the first few months of our opening. So we have Chef Brian leading the team. We also have, a couple of sous chefs within, as well as line cooks, bartenders, barbacks, bussers, servers, you name it, hosts. Definitely a very different array of staff that come locally from East Bridgewater and all the local community towns, which is nice to see. So we were able to, when we were opening up, we extended the offering. When I bought the Standish Grill, we extended the offering to some of their employees. Some of them took the opportunity, and they trained for many months over in my Pembroke location at the Treehouse. Once we opened up, it was gangbusters and ready to rock and roll. They did a great job, and the rest of the staff has been absolutely phenomenal since we've opened. So I hand it all to them.
Good, and you could just leave it to them. I think everybody knows that chefs are the backbone of the restaurant, but all the other people you mentioned, line people and so forth, if they're not working right, nothing works right.
The most important person in the entire restaurant is the dishwasher in the kitchen. And from there, every other person has their own duties and details of the things they focus on. But if it wasn't for the amazing staff that we have, not just in our East Bridgewater location, but all of our locations, the Towne Tavern brand wouldn't exist.
As I talk to friends and relatives that have been there multiple times, they all talk about how friendly the staff is and the people that meet you at the door and ask how many want to sit there. And your bartenders too.
Yes.
They're kind of the face of the restaurant to a lot
absolutely.
of people as well.
Absolutely.
You have a lot of things going on there. One is the valet parking that you do on occasion.
Yep. We do valet parking, complimentary valet parking on the backside and one of the sides of the building, just to help the hustle and bustle of the parking lot and allow guests to have the ease of use to pull in, not have to worry, turn around. Again, it's complimentary, so they don't have to pay for it. It throws people for a little bit of a loop because you don't typically see valet services in East Bridgewater and restaurants. You think of that being in Boston, but it's complimentary. We throw it out there in a hope to make it a little bit easier. You don't have to drive around the parking lot to find a spot. Pull right up, jump out, get your ticket, go in, and enjoy your time.
Sure. I would think that'd be especially beneficial to elderly people that have trouble walking, and where the parking lot is always pretty full, they may end up parking further away than they'd like to, so the valet parking certainly must serve them
Absolutely.
in a very good way.
Yeah, absolutely.
You also have takeout, is that
We
correct?
do. Yeah, we have takeout. We have online ordering. You could do online ordering through our website to place an order and come in and pay for it right over the over the computer or over your phone. Walk right in, let them know, pick it up. You're good to go. You could call the restaurant, place a takeout order, and we also are partners with DoorDash as well.
And of course, on your website, we'll get to that later, you can see all that's available, so you can call your order in as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is nice to be able to just go and pick it up. You also do brunches.
We do. We do Sunday brunches. We kicked them off a few weeks back or a few months back. Had a couple of hiccups the last few times with the snowstorms on Sundays these last couple of weeks, but back in effect this past Sunday and moving forward the rest of the Sundays. We start at 10 a.m. and we start brunch at noontime, and we start the regular menu right at noontime.
And that's a separate menu altogether?
It is, yes. We have a separate brunch menu and cocktail menu for brunch itself.
And you now have live entertainment.
We do. We have live entertainment a couple of nights a week. We also have it during brunch hours. They start at 10 and they run until 1 p.m., which is really nice. Just some background music, something simple and easy just to keep people enjoying. We also have it on Friday nights and Saturday nights at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Wow, that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you think of it. Trivia night.
We had trivia. We tried it out in that location. I do have it in multiple locations. I did try it out in East Bridgewater, and eventually we'll probably bring it back after the first couple times of doing it. People enjoyed, and it was great, but I felt that it was those that wanted to just come and unwind and have dinner and have cocktails and enjoy some time. That was what I was catering towards more. So I pulled the plug on it for now. In the future, it may come back, but for now, we don't have it at the East Bridgewater location.
Sure. I know TVs are always popular, but with Super Bowl coming up,
Yes.
It's nice that you have so many. You had started to tell me earlier about how many screens you have in
Yep. I'm pretty sure we have approximately 20, I think it's 28 screens total. That includes the Kino TVs because we have full lottery service there. But yeah, for the Super Bowl, we're excited to, those that plant themselves, whether it be the bar or some of the tables, it's almost like front row action. We've got some promotions going on for the Super Bowl this week as well. We're going to do half-price pizzas during the Super Bowl, internal dine-in only. And then we have some take-home packages that we're about to launch, putting on Facebook, social media and stuff later today or tomorrow, just so people can advertise, so people can order ahead of time for the Super Bowl.
I imagine this Sunday would be kind of noisy.
You know what it is? Everybody thinks that in the restaurant business that Sundays or the bars or whatever you classify them as, you think that it's hustle and bustle for the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is usually always a home. A lot of people find themselves to get comfortable at home, enjoy their time at home, sitting back on their couch, watching the commercials that come through.
Yeah.
But we do, you do get a little bit of a push at the restaurants and stuff. So you throw a little bit of promotions around it and kick back and allow people to enjoy it.
Sure. I've always felt that on days like Super Bowl, in that atmosphere, the noise is part of the fun for so many people.
It is. I mean, we definitely took a little bit of consideration when we were building East Bridgewater. There's a few more check boxes that I think I'd like to check in reference to sound levels, but we put in a lot of soundproofing. We put in 1-inch thick acoustical paneling boards on the majority of the walls, as well as some other acoustical components. But when you're as busy as we've been blessed on how busy we've been and the hard work that it's been. It is very busy. It does become a little bit noisy in certain areas. My brother helps me out with stuff. He works in a field that does a lot of that stuff. So he and I are going to do some more additions to help a little bit more with the sound deadening. But to be honest, it's definitely very comfortable in there, especially in certain areas. If you're at the bar, it's a little bit louder, but we're going to combat that and fix that in the coming weeks as well.
It's nice to see that you have some large booths, so if 6 people, probably
We
6
do.
people.
Yeah, you could get 8 in there if you had a smaller family of a couple of children or whatnot. But definitely some larger booths, 6 plus, smaller booths, 4 plus, and then we have 2 top tables. We don't have any 2 top booths, but 2 top tables, both in high top version or bar top version as well as low. So
In your menu, I know, again, people that go there that I speak to talk about the varied menu, and for a tavern, they think it's pretty full. I mean, it's not the full restaurant you go in a high-end restaurant, but the variety is nice, and they all talk about a reasonable price, a nice price.
I mean, if you look at the Towne Tavern as a whole, as I do, it's I always say it's elevated comfort food, and the pricing levels is, I would say, for the quality, the consistency, and the size of the dish that you're getting, the value is extremely large. And I say that because you look at a lot of other restaurants in the area, 3, 4, 5, 10-mile radius out, you're probably getting a little bit smaller portions for a higher price. And a lot of what we do, I'd say probably 95% of our menu is made from scratch. 85% of our menus between our stores and all the locations that they are similar, but you could walk into our restaurant and in East Bridgewater, and if you wanted something as simple as a pizza or chicken wings or chicken tenders, or if you wanted to elevate that and get a short rib, steak tips, maple glazed salmon, cedar plank maple glazed salmons, you got some higher end dishes. You have a mixed variety of extremely elevated comfort food.
I'm glad to see that the portions are really generous. One of the times I went there, I got the baked potato with all the fixings, and I thought I was going to need a 2-wheel truck to move it around. It was huge.
Yeah. Yesterday I actually Chef and I were doing some research and design, just kind of doing some things in the kitchen, and we watched a loaded baked potato get for to-go order, and they couldn't even fit the rest of the items that needed to go in the to-go container. It was just the baked potato by itself. So, yeah, the portions are definitely generous. The chicken pot pie, you could come have half of it, at dinner and take half of it home for lunch. So there's definitely a lot of great value in that.
In developing your menu, do you sit with the chef and the others in there, or do you leave a good portion of it to the chef? Or
100% of our menu is myself and my chef. We do incorporate our team, our leadership teams, whether it's the managers or the back of the house leadership team. When we're going to do a new menu launch, we start new menu launches. When we're doing the new restaurants such as East Bridgewater, Chef Brian and I will take a lot of our main items from some of our other locations that are heavy hitters, so to speak, move fast, and we'll incorporate those. Some of them that are signature to the Towne brand, we'll incorporate those. And then depending on the demographics or the locale of where we are, you might throw in some other signature type dishes. With our North Attleboro location, it's close down to Rhode Island. It's an Italian demographics down there, so we threw on some extra pasta dishes and so on and so forth. Down the Cape in our Buzzards Bay location, there's a lot more seafood options. East Bridgewater, we just wanted to hit it home with that comfort food. Like I said, that elevated comfort food with the chicken pot pies and the short ribs and the steak tips. We thought, that was the home base of where we needed to kind of go about. But Chef Brian and I sit around, we talk about them, we try them all, we incorporate the managers and the leadership teams to try things. And then when we're doing new menu launches, so when we opened with an initial menu, and then maybe a month and a half in, when it was getting into the colder weather of January, the start of January, we flipped a couple of the items that were more difficult for us to get from our vendors, or more scarce, so to speak. We changed them into some more heavier comfort foods. We did our house-made bacon wrap meatloaf. We put on a couple of other items that we wanted on the menu. So we do that when we're doing new menu launches. We incorporate the back of the house team to make sure that we allow them to kind of have the free will to do specials every week. And if a special that they're doing every week seems to, take flight, so to speak, or the guests take to it, that might be something that might hit the menu. So we trial that. That's what we do new menu launches with, is a lot of our chefs-driven specials menus each week.
going back just a bit with your staffing, I know most restaurants have people other than the wait staff that bring food to you. But your people there, I'll tell you, the food couldn't be waiting for us more than 20 seconds, and they're out with it. They
Correct.
really
Yeah,
do an excellent job.
we have what's called an expediter that runs the window. From the expediter is the food runner. Comes out of the expediting window, goes onto the tray. Food runner is running out the door and going right direct to the table. It allows the service staff, the waitress or server, to interact more with the guests, have that comforting feel, the welcoming feel, to make you want to continue to come back. It just keeps them engaged with the guests that are in the building. Makes them feel at home. They shouldn't be waiting for anything. You know, they have it at their beck and call, so to speak. But our servers do a spectacular job, and the food runners are unbelievable. That, you know, going out with trays of food, you know, and straight to the table. They do a fantastic job.
Now, for the part that I've been waiting to hear you tell people about is your mural. And before you start, you and I talked earlier about the mural and things you might have hanging on the walls.
Yep.
But it's such a personal touch. It's so different than other restaurants. And to me, you hit it out of the park when you did that.
Yeah, so I had a friend of mine owns a restaurant in Fairhaven, and he used a gentleman to do some similar things, but he kept it more sports themed to what he was doing in his restaurant. So I had reached out to him to get contact information, and the gentleman that I got, name is Jeff. He's a barber out of New Bedford. Absolutely spectacular guy. He came on site. We talked about a bunch of various things. I shared a bunch of personal pictures with him, you know, different ideas of, you know, my father's, you know, firefighter uniform from back in the day, brought in the actual helmet, things that, you know, my wife and I's wedding song. We were originally going to do the mural at the location that was going to be based around the town of East Bridgewater. That was the original plan. So originally, Jeff went off to the downtown area taking pictures. Coincidentally enough, he took a picture up around the police station, and the police officers came outside questioning, hey, can I ask what you're doing out here taking pictures of things? And Jeff was actually doing that. He explained to them who he was and what he was doing. And a lot of the guys know who I am and made a chuckle about it. But that was the original way we were going with the war memorials and the town hall and the fire station and the backdrop of the baseball field out here with the school. Then my wife and I and my brothers and, you know, we were just chit-chatting and friends of ours, and they're like, why don't you do something that's Towne Tavern specific first, and then pay homage to some of the other areas of East Bridgewater. So what we did to pay the homage to East Bridgewater is a gentleman, a local photographer in town, I was fortunate enough that he allowed me to print out some of his pictures. In the back of the dining room, we have a lot of black and whites of some, really local fire department, Skinner's ice cream shop, the police station, the town hall, the church. There's a lot of various pictures in black and white that we did in the back of the dining room, which allowed us to focus on the mural that Jeff produced. Now, when I say the mural, people think, a painter comes with paintbrush and so on. Jeff showed up with his car, opened his trunk, put out a rolling cart with spray paint. And he spray painted the mural 100% with spray paint. Not a single brush stroke. It was literally all with spray paint and looking at a picture that we shared. So we kept it case specific to the Towne Tavern, and we did it from like where I started and where things went to where we are today. Top left corner of the mural itself is a push pin of Weymouth, where I grew up. Down below that is the paid homage to the Ye Olde Standish Grill, which is obviously where the East Bridgewater location resides. There's the actual sign that was erected back however many years back that the family had placed there. It looks exactly like the original sign of the Standish Grill. We put the Viking mascot in there, obviously, for East Bridgewater, and then there's the piece of the war memorial on the picture as well, and it's got the name East Bridgewater. So it specifies, okay, that's the location for East Bridgewater. You move up on the top of the mural, and there's a picture of the treehouse of my Pembroke location. My location in Pembroke, for those that may not know, is called Towne Tavern and Treehouse, located on Route 14 there on Furnace Pond. Mm-hmm. We have a beautiful treehouse that overlooks the water. So they literally did a picture of the treehouse that if you put an actual still picture next to it, you would think it's the exact same thing. And then he's got the Pembroke printout on that. Over the ladies' room door, we did a scrolling of Frank Sinatra's The Way You Look Tonight, because that was my wife and I's wedding lyrics. So we wanted to pay something a little sentimental, so we did that. It kind of scrolls over the side of the women's room. Up on top, you get the drawbridge for Wareham, which is our Wareham location, so it brings the Cape Coastal vibe to there. In the top right is the North Attleboro location. It shows a 1972 Chevelle that I own. I collect classic cars, so I put that on there only because when you're driving to the North Attleboro location, there's one of those highway signs that says food exit 7. Mm-hmm. So we originally put that. The Chevelle was a reference of being on the highway, and then Jeff, with his talented mindset, didn't like how the sign looked, so he kind of eliminated that, but left the Chevelle and left North Attleboro. And then the most sentimental thing of the entire wall itself is owed, and I give all the credit in the world to my mother and father. My father was a Weymouth firefighter for many years. The firefighters in Weymouth today have a lot of their benefits and everything because of my father. I was the president of the union there. So I put his tip to cap to him and put his firefighter helmet, donning the men's room corner door where the trim is, with his jacket almost looks like it's hanging up on the corner of the men's room door and kind of shadowing down off of the men's room door. And then at the very bottom of the picture, I unfortunately lost both my mom and my dad in 2023 within like 2.5 months of each other. And then during COVID, I lost one of my German Shepherd, Corvo, who was with me through thick and thin. So the three of them are on the bottom of the mural, kind of like with the sunlight or the clouds kind of overshadowing to them. But what they're doing is kind of looking ahead, and looking ahead is a picture that my wife and I and our family took about 1.5 years ago, with myself holding my youngest son and then holding my other son's hand, and my other son is holding my daughter's hand and holding my wife, and so on and so forth. So it's just kind of that all-in-one encased of like where Towne Tavern came. We live in Halifax, so there's a push pin up in the far right-hand corner with Halifax. So we started in Weymouth, and it kind of mixed us around. But all in all, I'm a huge family guy, so it started and created. My parents and everybody, none of us were in the restaurant business, but if it wasn't for my mother and father and the amazing family that I have and we have today, we certainly wouldn't be here today. So that's where the mural kind of comes and hits home. And if you're ever in the restaurant, or anybody's ever in the restaurant, make sure that they take a peek at it. We also put it on the menu, at the bottom of the menu, so if you're sitting in the high top area, and you're not going over to the back side of the dining room, there's a reference on there to make sure you stop by and check out the mural, and this is what it's all about. So it's a little educational fact on the menu to explain what the mural is all about. So
I'm really glad that you had a chance to do that, because most people going and seeing the mural would say, oh, that's nice, and they go there French fries or something.
Yeah, they don't really grasp it. So hopefully
much.
with the menu itself, like I said, it's a bullet point of like, it's a little bit more shorter and to the point than what I just described, but at least it drives them around what the mural actually represents. And then we added the very last minute, when we were about to get ready to open up, the men's and women's room. You can always tell a lot by a restaurant's lavatory or bathroom. And the two bathrooms, the men's and women's rooms that we have, are stunning out of a magazine. They're absolutely gorgeous. But one last thing, I called Jeff. I said, Jeff, my wife and I were chatting. When we bought North Attleboro, we bought a picture, and the picture was a black and white still of Audrey Hepburn, and she was putting on lipstick. So it was a black and white vision of a picture we had in North Attleboro, but she was putting on this bright pink lipstick. And I showed him the picture, and he was like, a light bulb went off in his head. He says, I want to do something in the ladies' room. I said, okay. So we have this tile that's in the ladies' room that runs up the wall probably 8 feet. Just above that, there's another 4 more feet of height in the ceiling. So what he did is painted a black and white version of Audrey Hepburn, putting on pink lipstick, and on the right-hand side in pink writing, it says, "You look beautiful tonight." So if you walked in, if the ladies walked in and looked up on the ceiling, they'd see on the wall, they would see it backwards. They'd say, "What is that?" And then when you turn and look in the mirror, it flips so you can see it, and it's just letting them know, "You look beautiful tonight." So if you're taking us, if the young ladies are taking a selfie picture, they're getting that whole vision in the back. And it was one of the most unique and cool items to see. And it's just fun because, you get the people, "Come on, you should have saw that in the bathroom over there." And it was kind of, off topic for the men's room. And we putting TVs in the men's room above the urinals. So, you hear one buddy come out and says, "Hey, did you see that? The guy's got TVs in the back," So just something different for people to talk about.
There's so much thought into that, especially with the mirrors and so forth. Audrey Hepburn is my wife and my favorite, all-time favorite.
Very nice.
Am I going to get in trouble if I go in the ladies' room to
just
see
peek
it?
Just peek in before the ladies
after
get there.
hours.
Yeah.
That's great. But as I hear you talk about your dad and your family and your brother and so forth, it really makes me feel good because I feel like I can say these are people that care. They care about family. They care about the community and so forth. And you don't hear a lot of that.
Yeah,
So
that's my wife and I's motto and our mission statement is to invest. I mean, you could there's different styles of where mission statements can be written, but our number one thing is the investment in the communities that we are involved in. If you're in Pembroke, Mass, and you drive by, there's a baseball field, Mattakesett baseball fields. You drive by the baseball fields and you look at the scoreboard. Towne Tavern and Treehouse scoreboard, because we paid for the scoreboard from our investments in the community and donating and sponsoring and so on and so forth. We do the same in North Attleboro. We've got a team named after us in North Attleboro. We've got some different things on the field named after us. We've had 2 or 3 local teams here from the East Bridgewater soccer and things that have reached out, and we've already sponsored them as well. So we're excited for that. We did a Christmas sponsorship for the Kiwanis. So we're very open. That's our number one thing, is to be the involvement in the community for when people are coming to us, and whether it's donations or fundraising and so on and so forth. We'll open up the doors for that stuff. If it's something that fits what we're doing in the community, we're there to help. And that's what our biggest thing is in any one of our locations, is to just have that strong involvement. I will say that East Bridgewater, the town itself, from the day we looked at the location to the day we started having to deal with the government officials of the town hall and so on and so forth, we have a couple of locations of our restaurants that are like that the community, when I say the community, the town hall officials, it was a blessing in disguise to work with this town, to build that location in this town. They were the most amazing group of people to work with you, to know that they were going to have a family come to town, investing in the community and investing in everything that we do. It's been amazing to open up a restaurant and have that much open arms, so to speak, with a lot of the officials within the community of East Bridgewater.
It's really nice to hear. And I sort of claim bragging rights to other people from other towns. So our police, our fire, our public works, the people down at the town hall that serve us, they're also very good. I mean,
Yes.
It's not like every town.
The one thing I appreciated in this town is before you do anything, they have, I don't know the advisory board of what the terminology is, but they put you in front of a panel of all the powers that be. The DPW commissioner, the police chief, the fire chief, and so on and so forth. You tell them what you're looking to do, and it's just an off-the-cuff, this is what I can recommend, this is what I did. The fact that they do that in this community, for somebody like myself that wants to invest a business in the community to create jobs and taxes and so on, top-notch.
Yeah.
Top-notch, the way they do that, because it saves me a lot of headache of having to jump through fiery hoops. If I go to turn something to one board and they say, no, you can't do this, and so on and so forth. And I've had, unfortunately, the negative involvement in other communities that I've tried to do business in, where they're almost against bringing stuff to the town, where this community has been superb. So the leadership of this town has been absolutely spectacular. And so I'm pleased, and I'm excited to continue the growth of our business in East Bridgewater.
That's great. Everything you've said and done says we don't want to just open up a restaurant in your town, but we want to be part of the community.
Yes.
I mean, that's so evident,
Yep.
and it's good to hear.
Yeah.
We had talked about other locations. Oh, before I go on to that, back at your mural, when my wife and I went in for the first time in the restaurant, we saw the Standish Grill noted up there. My wife said, "That is so classy."
Yeah.
So classy
Yeah.
to include that.
Yeah, it came out really nice. It was a nice little tag, a tip of the hat to them.
Yeah, it was really nice. You want to talk a bit about your other restaurants as well?
Sure, yeah. Like I said, we had the location, the tree, a very unique property in Pembroke that we came about. My first location, we'll start there, was in North Attleboro. We took over that property back in, like I said, the early 2021, I think the time frame was. We took over that location. Back in the day, it was a Piccadilly pub. So we standalone location. It's actually in the front of a Shaw's Plaza. So there's a plaza in the backside, and it's a standalone location in the front. Beautiful interior seating, both bar, low top, high top booths. We have a function room out back for approximately 75 plus people. And then we have a gorgeous deck outside with a bar, center of the deck. This accommodates about 30 people, and then an additional 50 to 60 around the bar itself. North Attleboro has been obviously our number one. It was our number one store when we bought it, and it's still considered to get a special feeling for us because it was our start to the Towne Tavern brand. And then we proceeded to Pembroke. There was a property in Pembroke that came about. Back in the day, it was called the Lucky Dog Tavern. Even before the Lucky Dog, it was a place called Hosie's by the Sea. Very eclectic name in the location for many, many, many years, between a restaurant and an ice cream shop and so on. And I've had a lot of people that have grown up in Pembroke that have said, I used to swim across the water to go get ice cream and do this. So it's very cool to hear that. Mm-hmm. I've seen a couple of pictures on social media that showed the old Hosie's by the Sea. We took that location over, bought that location in about 2022, I think it was. And the gentleman who owned it before had the amazing idea of putting in a treehouse. Wasn't a restaurateur by any means, but he had the great idea after COVID of producing something outside. So I give all the credit to Mike, the gentleman that I bought it from. Did an amazing job building the treehouse. We just took it to the next level from a restaurant standpoint, and then we added a lot of other features to the property with a beautiful outdoor bar outside and everything. Pembroke is like East Bridgewater, the community there, the public officials there, from the police, fire, to the select board, to the zone, all of them in Pembroke it's a similarity to East Bridgewater. Open arms, spectacular. You can have a conversation one-on-one. They can lead you in the right direction so you're not, chasing your tail to get things done. They're spectacular in Pembroke as well. Pembroke was in operation, and then a store down in Buzzards Bay that was a staple back in the day, which was the gateway to Cape Cod, which is Cranberry Highway. There was a location there called the Lindsay's. Was there for 74 years. Was a staple to that area. We purchased that location in the early of 2023 and opened it up at the end of 2023 to another Towne Tavern. That location as well has a very large interior footprint. In addition to two separate function rooms or one big function room, you could have two separate, one at 60 to 75 people and an additional at 40 plus. And then we invested in putting an outdoor patio on last year for about a 28-seat bar in addition to about 60 some odd seats on the deck, about 88 seats total. Unfortunately, there was a lot of hiccups last year with attempting to get the deck open, dealing with some town politics stuff. But we finally finalized everything back in October. So this year, ready to launch and get ready to open up the deck in Memorial Day weekend. So we'll be rocking and rolling on the deck there to continue to bring a nice little atmosphere. So, people in the community of Wareham aren't traveling to the outskirts to stay outside because there's not a lot of decks outside in the Wareham area. So hopefully keep them there, keep them in town, spending some money in town, not just with us, just like we do with all of our other communities. Our hopes are that, us being present, you stop at the restaurant, you have dinner. You stop at the local gas station down the street to fill up your tank. Maybe you didn't get dessert at the restaurant, so you stop at the local ice cream shop down the road. You're spending all those tax dollars in town, and you're keeping everything within, so all the local businesses can thrive on them. So that's what we're looking forward to this summer coming about. Some extra changes going on in Pembroke, the Wareham location, executing the deck outside on the Wareham location, and my wife and I sat back and she said, "Are you done yet?" She doesn't want me to continue to do the restaurant thing, but there is a potential for something else on the horizon close by here in East Bridgewater within the local community. So if something comes about again, we'll hopefully be able to invest in another local community and continue to support, the environment that we do. So
I mentioned that we were hoping Tori could make it with us, but she had other business things to take care of. But I did want to mention my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, Rosemary and Bud, went to the restaurant, and Tori came by to the table and was speaking to them. And it wasn't like, "How's your food? Everything's hot? Okay, thanks," and off they go. She spent well over 20 minutes talking to them. And the discussion was more about her being interested in them,
Yep.
the patrons,
Yep.
rather than talking about the restaurant or the
That's-
menu or anything.
that
And
story.
they were really impressed.
Yes.
And I guess they blindsided you a little.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, Tori, we're fortunate enough that Tori's got a heart. Tori is, and I'm not just saying this because she's my wife, but she's number one of the most beautiful women I know, but she's also the hardest working. She got a harder job than I'll ever have. I should say, we have 300 and somewhat employees between all of our organization. But she has a harder job with the 3 little rugrats at home. So my daughter's 7, Chloe. My Mason will be 5 on the 11th of February. And Brody, our little guy, is 2. So she has a harder job than anyone will ever have. So fortunately enough, there's a couple of days during the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, typically that she'll find her way. She's usually in Pembroke, but she's been finding her way to East Bridgewater to assist us in some operational stuff. But her operational thing is whatever's needed. If she's got to wash a dish, she'll wash a dish. If she's got to run food, she'll run food. But what she loves doing is just bouncing around table to table, which is nice that you said that because it's true of what she does. And she just talks to every one of the guests. And it's lunchtime because she's only there from 10 a.m., 11 o'clock till 2 before she's got to go pick up the kids. So she'll just touch base with everybody, but she does it all the time. And, she'll always say, like, I made this couple. They've been coming here for 60-something years, and now they love coming here. So it just makes it more involved. It makes you feel that a little bit more comfortable when I'm walking through. And as much as, I don't want to work with my wife every day, but it's nice to have her there and, have the support factor.
It's a nice sort of additive to the restaurant.
100%. 100%. It just gives you more, I feel, as a guest coming in the door, more comfort to know that you're supporting a small family than you are supporting a chain with, a CEO that's sitting in a corporate tower in the middle of New York City. So that's what I like about it is she can bounce around and I can bounce around, and that's my favorite part is going around and meeting the community, the people that are in there, in there as our guests, but in there supporting our livelihoods and the rest of the team that we have, their livelihoods. So that's the best part is that one-on-one interaction.
Sure is. And it's good that you share the same interest.
100%.
At least, yeah. I guess it'd be safe to say you married up when it comes to
I did.
pleasing people.
I did.
Yeah. Sounds like you're very lucky. Anything that we haven't covered that you'd like to bring up? It's your show, so.
No, I mean, I just, like I said, it's, the Towne Tavern brand is growing consistently, and like I said, my wife doesn't want to continue to grow it, but if opportunities arise that are beneficial to us and we feel the same for that community, it's an opportunity to conversate about. So, it's great. We've built a very strong brand and we enjoy doing it. And it's great because it's just my wife and I. A lot of people out there, you must have partners, you must have this, or investors, or this and that. And I'm thankful enough to say that I would never want partners other than my wife. I would never want partners because I don't want to deal with any of that. But it's nice that we've built it ourselves. With the support of our banking establishments of that's our partner, so to speak, is the banking institution that we do business with is bar none one of the best around. And we're fortunate enough that those are the ones that if we need something, we can go to them. And we work very hard to continue to produce what we're doing. So,
Well, Dave, you speak with a lot of enthusiasm.
I do.
And
I do.
I appreciate that. And I want to thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break and we're going to head over to the restaurant and actually take a walk around with Dave in the restaurant so you could see some of the things we've been talking about. And I'd encourage you all to look at the website for the restaurant, and you can give them that if you would.
Yeah, it's www.towntavern.com, and town is with an E. So it's www.towne, Towne, tavern, Tavern.com.
And we'll put that on our show as well, one of the areas to show you. And a few pictures inside the restaurant will be in today's show, but you'll get a closer look when we go over there and do a second segment that will be part of this show. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hello folks, just wanted to say welcome to the new Towne Tavern here in East Bridgewater. Come on in and take a peek.
Hello, and welcome to Around the Town. I'm your host, Mike Travers, and I'm here today at the Towne Tavern and Tap. And one of our co-owners is going to speak to us and show us around, Dave Barry.
Hello folks, thank you for taking the visit over here to the new Towne Tavern here in East Bridgewater, 175 North Bedford Street. I'm excited for you all to take a little bit of a tour. My wife and I, put a lot of time and effort and love into this this build, so we're excited to share it with you. We're excited for you to take a peek. Right now you're standing in what used to be the Ye Old Standish Grill function space. We converted it to be additional dining for our restaurant. There were a couple small features that did stay or that we kept. The fireplace structure itself with the brick behind me. We did juice it up a little bit with an internal insert for a gas insert. But the actual brick itself is the same brick and same setup as it was when it was the Standish Grill. Right now we're in the back of the house where all the magic happens here at our kitchen in the Towne Tavern. With me is my culinary director, Brian Buzzachelli. Brian and I have been together since 2017, so he's going to show you a little bit of one of our dishes on our menu, our seared scallops over a little butternut risotto. Right now Brian's just preparing, getting his scallops ready, getting his pan heated up with the oil and the butternut. Getting a little bit of the butternut risotto sauteed, well, the butternut I should say, for the risotto. He adds some of his fresh risotto. All right, here's the finished product. Nice butternut squash ravioli with some beautiful scallops, a little bit of candied bacon, some sage. Gorgeous, gorgeous dish. We're very excited you got the opportunity to step back here in the back of the house, what we call the heart of the house, for Chef Brian to showcase this beautiful dish.
So we're back at the part of the restaurant where the famous mural is, and we're going to ask Dave to give us a run around on the mural. We did it early in the show, but he's going to point out some of the things we talked about then. So I'll leave with you, Dave.
Absolutely. So as I was stating, this beautiful piece was done by an actual barber who's an artist by the name of Jeff out of New Bedford. Showcased a lot of the stuff for where town originated and some of the areas of, you see the old Standish Grill, which is the location they're currently residing in. You got the mascot here of the Vikings, the War Memorial, obviously the location of East Bridgewater. Kind of ghosted out at the top is Weymouth, where I grew up. If you proceed down the mural, that's Pembroke location with the treehouse. You got my wife and I's beautiful lyrics from Frank Sinatra here, donning the ladies' room door. Proceeds to the drawbridge in Wareham for our Wareham location, all the way down to the North Attleboro store and my 1972 Chevelle, as well as Halifax, and then the most important things to me over here. Kind of tough with the light, folks, so I apologize, but my father's firefighter helmet and his beautiful jacket from the Weymouth Fire Department. Dons the men's room door, and then you scroll down here to, this happens to be one of my dogs, if you can see it with the light peeking in from the door. My father and my mother kind of ghosted out with the sunlight. Unfortunately lost both of them back in 2023, but they're still showcasing themselves, kind of watching over our family for myself, my wife, and our children. That's the beautiful mural that we put together just to showcase some kind of where we came from and where we are today. So I'm glad I was able to at least share that with you.
It's Mike Travers back again. I just want to say a few things while Dave went on to take care of the rest of the restaurant. One of the themes that I pick all the time when I was talking to Dave is that this truly is family oriented. If you look at the mural, you see a lot of references to the family. And speaking to him, he speaks a lot about his dad and fire department, and Dave was involved with doing things with them as well. But again, it's a family-owned restaurant, and Dave has mentioned several times that they don't want to be just a restaurant that's here, but they actually want to be a member of the community and be part of that. So we'll close the show with that, and thank you for watching. I'm Mike Travers, and this is Around the Town.